What's up, Eric? No problem, dude. I was still working. I told myself I was going to be done at noon yesterday, and I ended up working straight through and taking about a 2 hour break during the Blackhawks game last night, and then getting right back at it till about 2:30 this morning. Kyle, go watch my free play video. That game is on my free play video. What's up, Jeff? Let me mute this TV. Hold on. I've already updated all those. I went and did it manually. Hold on. What's your username? Chase, if you had to pick a team coming out of the NFC, who are you picking? 49ers. Let me check your account, brother. Brother, you may want to re-log in because I'm seeing it. It says that you are fully activated 7-day package. I'm actually logged into your account, so hold on, let me log out before you do. You may have just logged in before the update went through. And if you did that, it wouldn't have shown up. But I actually went through and did yours manually last night. For the people that actually purchased it through the link yesterday, theirs were already done. Whoops. What's going on, brother? Good to see you. And as I do every Sunday night, redid my college basketball rankings, so I've got my updated top 25 now. One of which, based on the numbers, obviously I had to rank in a certain spot, but I'm putting a big asterisk by it because I think it needs to be, I do not think it needs to be that high. I don't bet first halves. I don't bet first quarters. I think I say that every single time I go live. If you're gonna bet the Lakers, if you're just not, if you have to bet them for whatever reason, then yeah, I wouldn't bet them in anything involving the fourth quarter. Kyle, I'm going to remove that because I don't want everybody to see what it is, because then it would be pointless for me to do the video. No, I get what you're saying, but you've got to understand that if, number one, go back and watch every other game before that Kansas game and even after the Kansas game. The Kansas game was I don't want to say it was a fluke. I think that it was one of the rare times that they played higher than their level, if that makes sense. They're going into a snake pit tonight. Here, listen, is West Virginia a better team? Yes. I've got in my rankings, I have West Virginia at 16. I've got Oklahoma State at 49. So they're barely inside the top 50. But I'm telling you right now, this game is person for person matches up a lot closer than people think. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you this to tell you how close stuff can really be, because you hear 16 and 49 and you think there's this big gap. In the top 25, there is, if you're just going off of like the way I rate my point system, there's less than 2.5 points that separate the 25th ranked team in my system to number one. From top 25 all the way down to about number 11, it's mere decimal points. They chased that darn Wisconsin gap, couldn't get it going, but I bet their next game they roll the next team. It is, especially in a place like the Big 12. Like, take into this. Let's take one team, for instance, that proves it time and time again. Iowa State. Iowa State, time and time and time again, proves to be probably the toughest place in the Big 12 to play. We got to put Kansas up there, but Kansas is always actually the best team. Plus, Allen Fieldhouse is just phenomenal if you've never been there. Lawrence, Kansas is actually a cool little college town. Outside of that, it's fucking Kansas, guys. Let's get real. But Allen Fieldhouse is a phenomenal place to watch a game. The fans are awesome. The experience is awesome. And So we got to take that into consideration. So take Kansas out of it. If you look at a team that every year truly doesn't have the talent to be talked about in national championship contention, but by God, it seems like every year they take down a top 10 team at home, it's Iowa State, the biggest snake pit in college basketball to play in, because they can be an unranked team and take down a top dog. A lot of the Big 12's like that, guys. Stillwater. Any school in Oklahoma, either one of them's tough to play. Iowa State is a big one. TCU is even a tough place to play when TCU's on. Kind of the same thing with Texas Tech. It's hit or miss. It's either a really tough place to play or you can go in there and do as you please. But Texas Tech's just really not that good of a team. They're certainly not as good as people think they are. Just one, Tommy, and that's if it stays. I've got one kind of locked in now, waiting on a phone call from someone just to confirm just something that I have a hunch about. And once I get that, I'll go ahead and post it. But just one. It's a slim card today, so I'm not going to overdo it with top plays. Guys, let me tell you something. This week's going to be big. We're into full-blown conference play now. I get to start playing my over-unders in college basketball here in the next few days. It's going to be a big week. We've got NFL football, which I really like the slate of NFL for this weekend. I like the matchups. Congrats to everyone on the premium play yesterday. Seattle and Philadelphia under. Philly sucks. But if you guys want the free play for today, you know the rules. Got to get 50 likes. We got 35 people in here right now. We got 9 likes. Come on. We ought to be to 35 in the next 10 seconds. That's the thing, Matt. There's one of two ways I see this game going. I don't see this game being West Virginia by 2 or 3, as the line suggests. I see it being West Virginia by 20 or West Virginia lose. I'm telling you right now, everybody was talking about they were going to finish last in the Big 12. I told you guys before the season started, if you're sleeping on West Virginia, you are getting burned. We've already gotten people that have been burned. Here they are now. They're ranked in the top 20, not only in my system, but nationally. If they lose this game, people are going to start writing them off again. And come towards the end of conference play before tournament time starts, you're going to watch West Virginia have another big win, and Vegas is going to clean up. Vegas has already made a pile of money on West Virginia this year. And I'm telling you right now, everybody is in love with West Virginia tonight. They are in love with them. Which, here's the thing. It's not they shouldn't be. West Virginia's earned, the praise to a certain extent. Shay's value on Canadians puck line tonight. I just want to have one of those. Walter, I'm going to be completely honest with you. There's one game I may pull the trigger on in the NHL, and that one's not it. And I haven't even fully decided on that yet. There is zero value. I didn't say there's not an edge. There's zero value in the NHL tonight. The Toronto Maple Leafs, the line is right, but it's too steep in my opinion. The Islanders shouldn't be favored, but I'm telling you right now, Colorado has to come down to reality for at least a game or two eventually, and they're not playing a pushover in the Islanders. Winnipeg has the better chance of actually outright winning this game with speed based on the fact everybody's written them off. So maybe we see Montreal in a little bit of regression, maybe overlooking them a little bit, maybe doing what the Capitals did yesterday. And the wrong team was favored in the Kings and the Blue Jackets game. But I'm telling you right now, something's off with that line. And I just haven't figured it out yet. No, I do not think Baylor can take the Big 12 from Kansas. Not unless Kansas has somebody go down. I think somebody like a West Virginia or an Oklahoma would have a better chance than Baylor. Truth be told, I mean, I've got Baylor ranked in my top 10 guys. Baylor's doing good, but I think Baylor screws themselves at some point during conference play. And Baylor, they play such fundamental basketball that they're very easy to figure out. They just do it really well. Eventually, they're going to get somebody that's just pound for pound better than them that plays the same type of fundamental ball they do. And it's going to be somebody that is better that took longer to get to where they're at, and they're going to go in there and slap Baylor around, in my opinion. Scott, I think it's because everybody. Here's the thing: there's no question that the Red Wings are a talented team. It's not up for debate. Dylan Larkin might be one of the top 25 most talented people in the NHL, in my opinion. The Wings have talent. The Wings have a terrible coaching staff, and the Wings cannot set themselves up for goals. Go look at every goal they've scored. It comes on the fly. They don't set any plays. Look at what the Blackhawks did last night. Other than one of the goals, they set their plays, and they do it every game. They're not going to change that. Win, lose, or draw, they are the most intense, well-prepared, smartest shooting team in the NHL. Defensively, they're having a hard time from letting people score. You tell me that Chicago doesn't have a talented enough offense to make the postseason year in and out. Jonathan Toews is the best captain in hockey. I'm sorry, he is. He's smart. He can outskate just about anybody other than Patrick Kane, in my opinion. The team is good. Detroit has the talent. Detroit doesn't know how to use their own talent. But every team lets Detroit go in there, run ragged for about 20 minutes, and then they come in, they start running with them, they get into the game, and then once Detroit runs out of gas, they capitalize. The only team that didn't do that was Chicago last night, because Chicago can outrun anybody. It's part of Chicago's problem. They need to slow it down a little bit in the first period, in my opinion. What's up, Danny? No, I'm not saying they're not loaded, Brennan. I'm saying they're easy to figure out because they play fundamental ball. That's not a knock on them. That's a compliment. But the problem is when you play fundamental ball, it's a lot easier to figure out what you're going to do. What do? Do you drive inside? Do you favor the left side, favor the right side? What players do you have to worry about inside the paint? How long do how many people do you let touch the ball before you start going in? What's your percentage of free, 3-point shots? How many fouls do you allow? How many fouls do you commit? It's a lot easier to do a scouting report. That's a compliment for them. I love people that play fundamental ball. Problem is, in this day and age, fundamental ball is hard. If that's all you play, it's hard to be the best. Because somebody's going to come up playing cute and one street ball, and it's just going to discombobulate you, and they're going to win. They win enough times, and boom, John Calipari gets another ring. Or do you have any issue in your power rankings? They seem to have finally gotten over Winston's family trial. Who played lights out. Number three. And I'm going to be honest with you. They go out there and have another game like they did against Michigan. They could hurdle number 2 and go straight to number 1 again. Keep in mind, at the beginning of the year, I had Michigan State ranked number 1 for about a week. Then I had Kansas in there for a week. Then I had Louisville for a good little stretch, and then Ohio State took about 3 weeks. And then this is now the second consecutive week I've had Duke at number 1. Yep. We've got them at number one. And right now, not only numbers wise do they deserve it, just the eye test alone, they deserve it. I think the only one based on the eye test right now that could give them a run for their money is Michigan State. But I'm going to be honest with you. I still think Duke's got the edge. Right now, Duke's record is what's keeping them at number one. 13-1. The only other team with a better record is Gonzaga. Take that with a grain of salt. You've got Butler at 14-1. Take that with a grain of salt. You got Auburn at 13-0. Take that with a grain of salt. San Diego State 15-0. They won't be there as long as you think. Mark my words on that. West Virginia at 11-2 is a decent record, but they'll come back down to reality. When you talk about the true top 10 teams, Duke's got the best record in basketball. Other than Gonzaga. But again, I do not believe Gonzaga is a top 10 team. Gonzaga. Gonzaga's got the size to do it. Brady goes nowhere. If he goes anywhere, it'd probably be San Diego. But to be honest with you, I'd rather see him retire than put on another uniform. He doesn't need to go anywhere else. He was always a Patriot. It needs to stay that way. Don't be a Brett Favre. Not only that, Matt, they are riddled with freshmen, which makes it even more impressive, in my opinion. Not yet, but there will be. I think Caesars was taking odds the other night as to whether or not, and it was like stupid, just like 1-to-1 odds, and I think they were maxing it out at like $200. That if the Patriots lost, would he announce retirement that night? Montana did it. Brett Favre did it. But hey, guess what? Say what you want. Brady's better than both of them. Played in a better era of football, in my opinion, as far as just overall athletic talent. And I think that I just think he's better. I think he's the greatest to ever do it and then some. All the greats usually do it, but all the greats didn't go win 6 Super Bowls. All the greats didn't play 20 consecutive seasons with one team and then still have retirement up in the air. Like, they flat out retired. And it just, they didn't feed their itch. Brady's fed his itch. I truly, truly believe that Brady doesn't want to leave because he still wants to play the game. It's not about going out, with a Super Bowl win. If he was going to do that, he would have done it last year just to prove a point. I truly believe that he feels good enough. He's most certainly in shape enough and healthy enough. I just think he doesn't want to give it up because if he retires, Brady's not coming back. That you can take to the bank. When he says he's done, he's done. Gronkowski, I could still see Gronk coming back. It depends on his back. Back issues are a serious thing. But I think when Belichick and Brady both say, hey, I'm done, they're done. Ugh. Duke. His wife's worth 3 times the money he is. He don't need anything. He's making more off of his TB12 line right now than he is getting game day checks in the NFL. which his game day checks are over. Until he does something else, he no more make NFL money. Belichick will retire when he knows that he has to rebuild something. Right now, that he has pieces he has to rebuild. He doesn't have to fully rebuild anything yet. When he knows that, hey, I have to rebuild a team, I don't think he wants to. I don't think he needs to. It's not like he has anything to prove. You know, it's like, it was like Steve Spurrier. It was getting to that rebuilding time. And he was like, man, I'm 70-some years old. I'm tired, man. I'll come out there every Saturday and coach the team, and I'll help you, I'll tell you who you need to go after. But, I can't be getting on a plane every day. I can't do these 18-hour days. I mean, eventually Bill wants to live his life, too. It's not the Saints' fault. The Saints got fucked again, for my opinion. I truly, truly believe the Saints got screwed. The main reason I stayed off that game was because of all that bullshit about Kirk Cousins can't win a postseason game. I said, this right here makes for the perfect story. It makes for the perfect drama. I wanted so bad to take fucking Minnesota because of that right there. But the numbers didn't back it. Saints by 1 million. The NFL is just as much of a soap opera as it is anything else. Don't get me wrong, I love the NFL, but I mean, they can set themselves up for situations. And I think that they've done it against Drew Brees 2 years in a row. I don't know, maybe Walter. If anybody, gives that man shit for that. I mean, dude, the guy's 900 years old. He lost his wife, who was his best friend. He probably ain't got snatched in a few years. I mean, let the guy do it. It's not like he was going out there picking up a hooker on the side of the road. He just wanted a little rub and tug. I think he's earned it. And you know what? He probably tipped her enough to pay off her college tuition. Not saying she was in college. I don't know. That's just me talking out of my ass. I've been with a mother for a while, thinking about changing over the other guy. Just been doing it. Do what? Oh, I get it, Kyle. My bad. I can read it now. You've been with another site. It said mother site. I'm like, well, who is mother site? For a while, thinking about changing over. The other guy's a good dude. Just been digging me a big hole. Gonna start with you Thursday. Mr. Gomez, what's going on? All right, let's do this. We got 45 people in here, so we should have 45 likes. It's unexcusable. There's only 29, so we need to get that up to 50 before I do the free play. But let's go ahead and do a rundown of my top 25. No, I got that part. I didn't get the mother site part of it. Now I get it. It was just a typo. Okay, so let's do my top 25 power rankings real quick. Now, I'm going to do this two ways. I'm going to run them down real quick. I'm going to tell you I made a big bet on Tennessee Titans to win the Super Bowl. How about that? Tennessee Titans are going to get creamed. Derrick Henry can't do it by himself, and I'm sorry. I think that he's really the only true Super Bowl caliber player they have. He will not be back to Tennessee next year. If he is, then the Titans are going to sell the farm to keep him, and that's going to be stupid because then they're going to put Henry in a position where he can't win. And he's going to put him in a position where he's going to get hurt because he's going to touch the ball 45 times a game. Anyway. Russell Wilson's MVP. I don't care what anybody says. Lamar Jackson's right up there with him. I think Lamar's done a fantastic job. But Lamar has a great team around him that have helped him win games and win them in the fashion that he does. the Seahawks would have 5 more losses on their record and wouldn't have even been sitting there on Saturday yesterday had it not been for Russell Wilson single-handedly winning games. You know how hard it is for a quarterback to single-handedly win a football game? Somebody still has to catch the damn ball. Somebody still has to put it in the end zone. He can't do it every time. But Russell Wilson has done so. Now, do I think the Seahawks win the Super Bowl? No, I don't, because I don't think they're the best team in the NFL. But if it came down to like just coaching and quarterback, I'm sorry. Give me the Seahawks. But it's not going to come down to that. The best team right now in the NFL as it stands, after we've had our eliminations, is the Baltimore Ravens. And I'm going to be honest with you, I still think they're a little bit smoke and mirrors, but until they do something detrimental to themselves, the San Francisco 49ers are not far behind. I do not think the Chiefs are Super Bowl material. I didn't think they were last year when everybody thought Patrick Mahomes was the second coming of Christ. I think I proved that by releasing my game of the year when the Patriots played the Chiefs and the Patriots took care of business. And then going against not only the company that I was with in the entire world by taking them on another big game for them to win the Super Bowl against the Rams when they shouldn't have been there in the beginning. It should have been the Saints. All right, let's do my top 25. We're going to do it 2 different ways. I'm going to run through it real quick, and then I'm going to tell you about 2 teams that I have an asterisk beside. And, this is going off of numbers. I don't let my emotions get a part of it, but I'm going to tell you when I get my emotions into it, which are right a hell of a lot more times than not, where I think these 2 teams should truthfully be. All right, let's start it. Let's calm the chat down just a hair so I don't miss out on a bunch of it. We'll come right back to it. Number 1, Duke. 2, Kansas. 3, Michigan State. Number 4, Ohio State. Number 5, Butler. Louisville, number 6. Dayton, number 7. Maryland, number 8. Baylor, number 9. Here's one of the asterisks right here. Gonzaga, number 10. Auburn, number 11. Arizona, number 12. Oregon, 13. San Diego State, 14. Florida State, 15. West Virginia, 16. Michigan, number 17. Kentucky, number 18. Number 19 is Iowa. Then I have Penn State, Seton Hall, Wisconsin, Purdue, and this is where people are going to disagree with me, and especially the media and the national rankings, because they've got this team ranked all the way back at number 46 in the rankings, but I've got Georgetown at number 25. Is Yale on the list of top 25? No. I'll tell you where I've got Yale. I'm assuming you're a Yale fan? Who asked that? No, Eric, you're not a Yale fan, are you? I've got Yale at number 77. Wichita State, 34. Chuck, I do not believe Ohio State's a poser. I think Ohio State's truly a top 5 team. And I think Louisville's also a true top 5 team. Louisville shot themselves in the foot, guys, against Florida State. They had the worst game passing-wise. And I went back and didn't just pull stats from this year. I went back 3 seasons, and they haven't had a game where they have passed even remotely as bad as they did against Florida State. And let me tell you something. Florida State's a true top 15 team, guys. You pass bad against them, they're going to make it look a hell of a lot worse than it really is. all of this can change week to week, but if you really go off of every single number that I take into an account to make these, take my heart completely out of it, this is what I come up with. And there are two teams that I don't think should be in this. Gonzaga shouldn't be at number 10. When I take into account what I truly believe, I think Gonzaga should fall back to around 18, 19 range. And truth be told, I think that Baylor should fall back a couple of positions, not much. And I think that Texas Tech should not even be inside the top 30. But it's just... I do. I don't have my top 10 in front of me. I still have I had preseason. I had Tampa Bay Lightning ranked number 1. I still have them at number 1. But no, I don't do it as far as rankings like 1 through 10 because that's not the way that it works in the NHL or like in the NFL and in the NBA. I just go through and rank who I think is the best team, as far as their divisions and stuff. You've got the Capitals, you've got the Avalanche, the Tampa Bay Lightning. I mean, you know how it works. Skip, that's my free play video. So if you want a prediction in that game, I posted a video a few hours ago, and it is on that game right there. I know some people get mad that when I just won't come right out and say it, but guys, you got to understand, it's not, when I post a 10-minute video, it doesn't just take 10 minutes. It takes just 10 minutes to record it. But then I have to go through and I have to edit it and change the light on it to make sure that you can see me, check the sound, rewatch it, upload it, process it, let YouTube approve it, all that stuff. I mean, it's hour and a half of my time to put up a free play. So, no offense, I want people watching it. Otherwise, there's no use in me doing it. But I definitely want you to watch it and then, listen to my thought process on it and, do what you will with it then. Evaluate it your own way and see what you think. But I had to sleep on that game too. I almost did a video last night about it, but took everything in me not to record one last night. But I really wanted to sleep on it. That's really the only true game, if you think about it, Skip, as far as like, any team that, somebody's going to be talking about come, late February, early March. I mean, if you look at all the other teams, nobody's really going to be talking about them. I mean, there's a slim chance with Coastal Carolina or App State if they pulled a miracle out, but that's really it. Those are the only two teams. I mean, there's teams that are on this list today that are in my bottom 50. So it's set up perfectly for that to be like the game to watch in all of sports tonight, which is kind of sad. So that's my top 25, guys. We're at 45 likes. Let's get 5 more. Let's do a free play. I don't know which one I want to give you yet, but I'm going to give something. I'll tell you what. Hold on. Let me, I need to grab my phone charger anyway, so this phone doesn't die. Danny. A late kick. No, I haven't. I don't even know that I've heard of it. What is it? I'll come back to your answer in a second. Danny, run the chat for a second. Let me grab my phone charger, and then because we're only going to go be on here 20 more minutes. I'm keeping it at an hour today. Um, and yeah, that way I can get plays out, and I'm not working until 2 a.m. I've been working too late, guys. I've been over. I've been feeding too much information into my brain for like the last 2 weeks, so I'm going to try to, you know, be a normal person tonight. So run it for a minute. Let me go grab my phone charger, and we need 2 more likes. We'll do a free play, and then we'll just discuss whatever you guys want to discuss for the remainder of the show. But this will give me time to figure out which one I want to give you. All right, dudes. We're at 50 likes, so we are good. We got it quick today, guys. That's good because we're going to start keeping these live shows at about an hour. We always get to talking and everything, and before you know it, we're 2.5 hours in. I got to stop doing that. All right, let's see what I missed. I'll check him out, Danny. All right. Let's do one free play. Then we'll do... I'll give you a lean at something that I've just been looking at. Oh, and I wanted to tell everybody. I don't think I've said it yet. We got enough people in here. I've got a special going on today, something that I've never done. It's called the 5 for 50. Everybody knows that my 3-day pass is $50. That's more geared towards the first time. I mean, anybody can buy it, but it's more geared towards the first time buyers, the people that have never used my service. That way they can see how the site works. They can, make their own judgment calls on the plays, see the value in it, all that stuff. And then usually they buy that and then, upgrade to something more serious and long term. So I'm doing something today, 5 for 50, 5 days, $50. Never done it before. And it's valid until midnight. All right. Let me check this line real quick just to make sure it didn't move. And then after this, I want to tell you guys about something that I thought was funny, but all right, guys. There's no set on how many plays I give out. It varies day to day. It all depends on the card and, obviously the games that I'm investing in. Every play that I put out, unless it's like a game of the week, game of the month, something like that, you get it. Top plays are labeled as such. You get all the sports that I play. The instructions of how you are to wager these games are at the bottom of the page where you get your plays every day. It never changes. And yes, the system keeps up with everything. And if you are not in the positives at the end of the 5 days, it extends you until you are in the green. Now, if you just play whatever you want to amount wise, then no, it goes off the system. If you don't follow the system and you lose money, that's on you. Because the system is not only keeping up with the win-loss record, it's keeping up with the amount of profit you should have. If you follow that system, it will know whether or not you are profitable, and it extends automatically if it were to be a losing period of time. If not, then obviously it expires on the last day. Matt, if you buy the $50, no, I mean it would start today. No games have been played. The only way it would start tomorrow for you is if like you're on a package right now that doesn't end until midnight tonight. Then yes, it would start tomorrow. But if you buy it today before the games go off, then today counts as day number 1. All right. Tonight, football. Louisiana Lafayette, Miami, Ohio. Here's what I think about this game. The line's right. Based on numbers, the line is correct. It should have opened at 14. It should be at 14. I'm seeing a couple of 13.5s. That's actually what I betted at just a little while ago because William Hill hit 13.5 for literally like 10 minutes. I saw it come across. It updated me, so I went ahead and placed a bet and took that. But I would have been okay taking 14, probably because you guys, I always on numbers that 3, 6, 7, 10, 14, 21, the most important numbers when it comes to football, I will always buy the half point or the hook. So the line's right. Percentage-wise, if you look at just an outright win, I mean, there's literally less than a 15% chance based on statistics that Miami of Ohio would pull the upset. Obviously, it's a neutral site, but if you really want to consider geographics, this would be more of a home game for Lafayette. It's not going to be a game that most people care about. I don't see too many people being in the crowd. It's just one of those games. But like I have said many times before, you talk about a game like this involving mid-majors, bowl games mean a little bit more to them than they do to a Power 5 team. And that's because these teams don't expect to be anywhere in January. So the fact that they get a bowl game and get that national recognition for it, it means something. And that's why you have a lot of these mid-majors who don't have players that sit out like you would when you would have a Power 5 team that's like, we don't, if we're not playing in a New Year's Day Bowl or we're not going to the playoffs, then I'm sitting this one out. Fine, whatever. This game right here, the biggest factor is LA Lafayette is floor to ceiling better than Miami of Ohio. If they aired the ball out like this team has done in years past when they were more of an air attack type team, then I think this line would not only be bigger, we'd be looking at an absolute blowout. The fact that the line is only this is because we know that LA Lafayette's going to keep it on the ground. That's a good thing and a bad thing. The only bad part about it is when you're talking about a 2-touchdown spread, you eat a lot of clock time. The benefit to this doing it is not only them controlling the clock, limiting the amount of time Miami of Ohio is going to have the ball, which means less scoring opportunities. And this is a team that can't score the ball that well anyway. So I think they're going to have a hard time tonight scoring against Lafayette. They're also not going to have a lot of chances to do so with LA Lafayette keeping it on the ground, running the ball, and keeping their offense in possession for the overwhelming majority. If LA Lafayette comes in and makes a bunch of mistakes, who knows what could happen? Again, it's college football. But saying that both teams come out here play to their potential, there's not a ton of mistakes that make the game just end in a fashion that no one would have been able to predict. I see this game with the potential of being a blowout, and I'm okay laying the 13.5 to 14 with LA Lafayette. Everybody knows that when a game ends or lands on 14, I always recommend buying a half point. That way, if it lands on 14, you win versus push. And I don't think you're going to have to lay a lot of juice to do so. William Hill, you would lay $1.25 to buy the hook, which is not terrible in a game like this. 5 Dimes earlier had it at 120. I don't know what it's sitting at this moment to buy it down. But like I said, I played it through William Hill earlier at 13.5. So free play, premium play. I like Louisiana Lafayette tonight minus the points, as this is a complete mismatch, and I think that this could absolutely be a one-sided game. Yeah, Bob Huggins can't even stand up anymore. What do you expect when you're in West Virginia? Another game I think that is just drawing my attention is this overplay in the Hornets-Pacers game. Statistically, if you want to run down the whole season, this would be an underplay. Charlotte, again, they're not a good shooting team. They take smart shots, some of the best in the NBA. They just don't get them to fall. That's not been the case the past few games. And they're going to be at home. They're riding a little bit of motivation after the great performance they had against Dallas. And I think that the Pacers are going to have to run the floor a little bit harder tonight than they normally would. And it's going to come down to whether or not the Hornets get hot. If they get hot, then I think the Pacers are going to have to back off defensively a little bit and try to keep up with them on the offensive end. If that's the case, this is going to soar over the total with ease. If the Hornets are cold, I think you'll see the Pacers lock down on defense, and this could be what it should be in and under. I haven't placed a bet on it. I don't know that I will, but right now, if I had to put money on it, I think I'd take a chance with the over in the Pacers-Hornets game. Steven, I mean, if you go off of numbers, you say over, but again, you got to take into consideration what I just said about the fact that I don't know how many scoring opportunities Miami of Ohio is going to have, and if they're not really going to be a factor in the total, if they're not really going to do enough to make a difference in that total, then I don't know that Lafayette will either, because they're a running team. They're not going to be airing it out. They're going to try to burn as much time each possession and each score as they can. So with that in mind, that's, being torn between those two statistics right there, I lay off of the total. But again, if forced to pick, because I have to go with the most reliable side of that, which is LA Lafayette running the ball and controlling the clock, I'd truthfully be told I think I'd take under. Skip, that's the only reason that I haven't placed a bet on the total of that Hornets-Pacers game, and it is because you have one of two options here. And again, we can't predict which option that'll be. If you go off of numbers, you have to go off of the season that says that Hornets are going to miss a bunch of shots, Pacers are going to lock down on defense, they're going to guard the perimeter really well, and it'll go way under. But if you go off of just the last 2 weeks, then Hornets will start going on a little bit of a streak. They'll get hot, and the Pacers will back off defensively and have to run the floor with them to keep up and hope they get a chance that the Hornets go cold at some point in the later minutes. But even if that were to happen, if you get 3 quarters of true offensive ball with the way the Hornets have played the last 3 games, then this is a game that would end in the 225 to 230 range. All right, we've hit the hour mark, so we're going to wrap it up here in a minute. I wanted to tell you guys because I was talking to a customer of mine, and and again, this has been a customer of mine for a long time. And his 1 year of service is almost up. So he's talking to me about, re-signing up. He's like, just tell me what I need to do. And so we were talking about it. And he was like, man, how can I just buy a lifetime subscription? He's like, what can I just pay you to never have to re-sign up again? Not have to worry about when it runs out, not have to worry about anything. Just know that from now, for as long as you do this, I get all of your plays. Don't ever have to re-sign up. And I started thinking about it. I don't know that I've ever seen a capper do that where they've said, hey, here's a lifetime subscription. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe cappers do that. I don't know. It just made me think. I'm just like, would anybody actually buy that? But the thing is, you can't really put a number on it. That's the problem. You can't say, okay, I'm going to charge you $10,000 because we charge $4,000 for a year. Because if we do this for 20 more years, then obviously I'm killing myself here. But then again, I can't go say, all right, pay me $50,000 and because I don't think that somebody would ever need to pay that up front. Steven, there is one person that I know for sure does, and he's been with me for almost 3 years now, and that's actually the person that we're talking about. He is about a $25,000 per premium play guy. Every play of the year I've ever given out, he's betting six figures on. That's why, for him, he doesn't care. He's like, just give me a number, let me pay it, and I don't ever want to have to re-sign up again. Now, I'm not saying a lifetime discount. I'm saying he wanted a lifetime subscription. Like, here, you buy this, and you never buy anything else again. I don't know. I've just been thinking about it for the last day, going, what would I even do? I don't think that. No, it most definitely intrigued me. I just don't know how. The thing is, I don't think I could do it. There's not a price you could put on it. There's just not. Because again, if I charge somebody $100,000 and for some reason 5 years from now I decided to retire, then yeah, I think that he would have been better off just buying year to year. But then again, if I charge somebody, say, hey, give me $20,000, and then 20 years from now we're still doing this day in and day out, then I'm screwing myself. He's the VP of some software security company. I don't know. I don't remember what the company's name is. But that's what he does. He actually sold his own company to go take this position. He sold his company that was making him seven figures, made him a millionaire, and sold it for a ton of money, never had to go back to work again to go take what this company was going to pay him. So what I thought about, because again, there's just not a price you could put on it, because I can't say that I'm going to be doing this 20 years from now. I hope to be retired in 20 years. Am I going to be doing it 5 years? Yes. Am I going to be doing it 10 years from now? Probably. But truth be told, my goal is at 45 to be done and nobody ever hear from me again, not even the people that I see every day. At 45, I just want to be done with everything, kick back somewhere. But I started thinking about it. There's no number you could put on this, because inevitably you're going to be wrong in one way or the other. Either I'm going to be charging too much or I'm not going to be charging enough. There is no happy medium there. What I thought about was, what if I ran a contest and allowed 3 people to win this contest that could buy a 1-year all access. They buy it at the price that it is. But instead of it being 1 year, it is a lifetime. Does that sound like something general public would be interested? To be able to say, like, listen, you can buy a 1 year for $4,000. You get every play that I get out. You get $19,800 worth of plays that I put out on my site. You get it for $4,000 every year, which is already a steal. But if you won this contest, you could buy it and it wouldn't be 1 year. You would never, ever buy anything ever, ever again. You would basically have a lifetime subscription for the price of a year. Now, that's something that I think would be really cool to offer someone or to offer a few people. I'm certainly not going to put it up on the website and do that, because then I'll sell everybody that and then might as well never sell anything again. But I think that it would be cool to allow, my diehards to come in and have the chance to get it. Not saying they will, because obviously you'd have to win the contest, and I'm going to keep it, at either 1 winner, 2 winners, 3 winners, something like that. But you would never have to sign up for anything ever again. And obviously my all access clients know that when you're with me for a year, like, you have my phone number. If you have questions, like, you have me one-on-one. I don't give my phone number out to someone that buys a 3-day pass. I'm sorry. You kind of got to commit to me a little bit before I just give you my 24-hour-a-day undivided attention. But people will tell you that that's worth the price of admission alone, because I have people that'll call me. Matter of fact, I've got a phone call tonight after dinner with a client of mine. His name is Joseph. Texted me earlier. He's like, hey, man, can we chat tonight? Got a couple of questions. And, I know what it's going to be involving. It's probably going to be involving his bankroll, something like that. How he's probably, wanting to make an adjustment on something. And before he does, he wants to talk about it. So guess what? We're going to talk. That's one of the things that you get. I don't know yet. Again, the last thing that I want to do is even announce this and, have a ton of people enter this contest, because that's inevitable. That'll happen. What type of contest would you do? Colton, I don't know. I may... What I was thinking about doing... What's the lifetime price? That's the thing. There is no lifetime price. I charge... Irie, I'll give you an example. If you were to buy every single thing that I release on my site, you were to buy every sports season, every game of the week, every game of the month, every game of the year, everything for an entire year, you would spend over $19,000. I allow people to save money by pre-buying the year. So you buy the 1 year all access, you get all of that for $4,000 every year. There's no way to set a lifetime price. I mean, if I did, it couldn't be a penny less than, truth be told, at least $25,000. And that would be probably still hurting me. But I'm saying just run a contest. It could be something as simple as follow me on Twitter. I'm going to make a post, retweet it. Every person that retweets it gets entered in. What I don't want to do is run the contest, have 1,000 people enter. I announce the winners, and they're like, oh, well, I don't want it. So if I do this, the people that do it, I want them to, if they win, I want them to want it, and I want them to get it. That way the contest was a success. Otherwise, there's no use in doing it. It's dumb. And Mark, you're right. I know where I'm going to be. I might not be doing YouTube videos in 5 years, but I'm still going to be doing this. This is what I do for a living. So I'm doing this until I retire. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm 32. I'm not retiring at 38. I'm not going to retire until my kids are out of school. When my kids get out of school and they're done and starting their own lives, then that's when I'm going to start looking at hanging it up. But I got a long way to go for that. I mean, we're talking, and I'm talking college years, so we got a long way to go. Mark, I was thinking $4,000 gets you everything forever if you win the contest. Again, this isn't going to be something that I put up on the website and advertise, because then everybody would buy it, and then there would be no use to even run little specials and stuff like that and do 3-day stuff. And that's what I like. My goal here is not to just sell people stuff. That's why I sell stuff as cheap as I do. I want people that need a consultant to come in, spend a little bit of money, spend $50 or $100, buy a short-term package. Let me prove it to you, and then within a few months, you're on a 1-year all access, and it's done. This site's not what pays my bills. Never has, and it probably never will. I make my money from investing in the things that I'm giving you guys. But again, I'm not going to give it away for free. I just want to make sure that I sell enough to let it sustain itself, where I'm not pulling money out of my pocket to run this site every day. And as long as I'm doing that, I'm happy. If it's not costing me money, I'm happy. I'm not looking to pull a paycheck from it. That's why I'm willing to run a contest like this. Or at least I'm humoring the idea of it. I don't know. A lot of you guys are my 1-year clients. You guys know what it's like. You guys know good and well when your year's up, you're going to want to buy another year. Send me an email right now, chase@chasewins.com. Tell me your thoughts on it. Tell me if it's something you'd be interested in. And then we'll go from there, and I'll create something, and we'll see if it's a success or if I waste my time. $300 a game for a premium play, and that was over 10 years ago. I'm telling you, with the volume that I play, I mean, I was still making over 6 figures. Now with what I play and the volume I play, I can make 6 figures in any given sport on some years. All right, guys, think about it. But, like, seriously, like, Jeff, Colton, Walter, I mean, all you guys that have been with me for a long time, send me an email. Tell me what you think about it. Because, I mean, if it's not going to work, all right, Matt, I look forward to it. I'm not going to run it. I want to waste my time doing something that's not going to be worth it. But if I can do something to make someone's day and truly give them something that's one of a kind, I'd like to. I like doing stuff like that. I mean, it's going to come with a cost, obviously, but it's not going to be anything that's ever going to benefit me. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Let me know if if it'd be something that you guys would be interested in. If I can generate some interest, let's do it. Hell, let's do it tomorrow. I don't care. Oh, Keith, I've been doing it longer than that. I've been doing it for about 18 years now. Full time, like, as in that's the only thing that I do other than, the consulting side of it. And I do some other consulting, but I have people for that now. About 12 years. Just shy of 12 years. All right, I'm going to look for an email from you guys. I got to go. Let me get these plays put up. I'll email everybody. And I will holler at you guys tomorrow. Live show tomorrow is going to be in the morning, probably about 11 a.m. LA Lafayette free play minus 14. See if you can get it 13.5. If not, you can do like me and buy the hook. Or not buy the hook, buy a half point. See you guys.